Happy Friday, everybody. Here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. It is April 1st. Tomorrow, there's going to be snow. Some people happy, some people not so much. There's a giant beer convention in Maine. We will have a live report from there and a day in the life of Bob Marley. This is News Center Now. Whether you love it,
having a little bit extra snow is awesome,
or you're dreading it.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of it.
Everyone in Maine has to brace themselves because as April approaches, so does another storm that will make it look like the middle of winter, at least for a little while. Hey, hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Amanda is off tonight, and apparently she's the only person willing to work with me. So I'm here. We're hanging out with all my friends. And yeah, we really are getting more snow. It's such a painful thing to deliver. Keith couldn't bring himself to even show up and talk about it. So a man's man, TJ, is going to help us out here. What, seriously, is this still going to happen?
It's still going to happen. Even Keith didn't want to work with you today.
That's what I'm saying. Luckily, I got you. I got you, babe.
Love you, man. Hey, they're pretty impressive on the radar. You can see the snow in the white and the green indicates the rain. And it's all about the track. And if you've been paying attention, we shifted that track to the south. GFS for the win. America, the American model coming through versus the European. At least that's how it looks. It hasn't played out entirely yet, but that's the expectation from the News Center weather team. Some flakes in Portsmouth. I'm hearing from folks in Portsmouth. So in York County, we have the snowflakes, and when you know it, a little early than the computer guidance on the arrival, but it's going to take some time to really overcome some fairly dry air in place across Androscoggin County, Cumberland County, and Oxford County. But we're seeing some headway on the radar, and that extends up to Coos County, where we do have a winter storm warning that runs down through Oxford and Cumberland and York and Androscoggin, as well as Rockingham. That runs through Saturday at 8 p.m. And as far as our winter weather advisory, it now includes Augusta, runs from Kennebec and Sagadahoc up through Franklin and Coos County. Here's the snowfall potential. Scaled it back a lot, 4 to 8 for southern Maine. Jackpot still over there in New Hampshire. Here's the hour by hour so you can time it out. It continues overnight. Notice the center of circulation well to the south. Places like Boston and Worcester, they get pasted up through Vermont and New Hampshire. Those of you watching from northern and eastern Maine, no snow for you, at least very little expected, and then we'll see some sunshine on Sunday. Here's how it plays out in southwest Maine. Lower to middle 30s for temperatures during the system as it snows, and then it starts to taper off between 4 and 6 p.m. tomorrow. Lee?
All right, TJ. Now, we've seen all your reactions on Facebook. In fact, we're seeing them now. We've got Ralph who says, seriously, why more snow? And then Kathy says, hey, we'll take the moisture. It's okay, and it's Maine. So you're constantly talking about it because there's shoveling, there's snow blowing, there's winter boots, there's putting on those extra layers, and you might be feeling like you're ready for spring. To be fair, winter lovers can't get enough of the white stuff, so we sent Chris Costa out to find the snow lovers and the people who are more than ready for some spring.
I feel the same way many of you do. I am sick of winter. I just want to enjoy some nice activities outside in the sun, like golf. I'm not even good at golf. I'm at this point where I'm thinking, maybe I can just will this to happen. Think warm thoughts. No more jackets, no more boots. Just enjoying a nice time on the beach. It's not working.
Some runners are fed up with the white stuff too.
Yes, yeah, we are. We're ready for spring.
It's cramping Lucy's walking schedule.
Oh, our walks are pretty short this time of year. Kind of done with the snow at this point. Yeah. It's ready for spring to come.
Others could care less.
We got a couple inches of snow coming. How's that feel?
That's all right. It'll be gone soon enough.
There are even some who treasure it, like Matt Sebastiansky, the outdoor recreation coordinator at Pineland Farms.
Winter is never long enough for us.
Last year, the cross-country skiing trails were only open 37 days. This year, they've been open almost 3 times as many days.
We make our living with the snow here in the wintertime. We don't like to shovel it either. But, you know, having a little bit extra snow is awesome. And a lot of people may complain, but they'll come out and ski.
And while crews put the finishing touches on Hadlock Field before opening day, Slugger has some words to help those of us who are all fed up. Think baseball.
Chris Costa hasn't made it back from the beach yet. And if you're really waiting for baseball, the Red Sox home opener is Monday afternoon at Fenway. The Portland Sea Dogs will start Thursday at Hadlock. Hopefully, all of the snow will be out of the way by then, but I don't want to tell you what I saw on the weather map earlier with more possible storms. I'll let Tom or Keith or someone else more qualified do that. Hey, all right, more serious news. Should a drug dealer be charged with manslaughter if they sell an illegal drug that leads to a death? A lot of people talking about this today because lawmakers are considering a bill that would create a new manslaughter charge, which would mean up to 30 years in prison. Emerald Drake doesn't agree with that idea. He says they should be charged for distributing the drugs, but manslaughter? Seriously? Are we going to charge pharmaceutical companies with manslaughter when somebody dies from the drugs that they sell? But for Joanne Haddon, this is personal. She says, I believe that dealers should be held accountable. My grandson, who is 7, lost his dad recently. I'm beside myself. Don Kerrigan looked into the specifics of this bill and its potential impact in Maine. You can see that story tonight on News Center at 6 o'clock. On a bizarre crash involving an overturned car, a pregnant woman, and a driver who took off. Katie had this for us yesterday and is here now with an update.
Yeah, Lee, we're still trying to figure out who the the driver, I should say, of this car is. So yesterday we showed you, a viewer posted this picture on Facebook with a caption saying that the driver ran off, leaving behind a pregnant woman. It was shared thousands of times. Through witness accounts, News Center verified that the crash happened and the driver took off, leaving a pregnant woman at the scene. We called police again today to ask about the driver and if charges are pending. We're told the officer who responded to that crash on Tuesday will be back in the office tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get the specifics on the case tomorrow and find out whether there are charges pending. We'll keep following this case for you guys. Lee.
All right, Katie, thank you very much. Meanwhile, have you guys seen this video from today? It was a massive fire under an interstate in Atlanta. It caused a section of the highway to just flat out collapse, and if that wasn't bad enough, this all happened in the middle of rush hour. The cleanup is continuing today, and the governor of Georgia has declared a state of emergency. But on the bright side, nobody was injured, believe it or not. It did get us thinking, though, how are the roads and bridges here in our state? Well, they didn't fare so well on an annual infrastructure report card. The American Society of Civil Engineers gave Maine a C- for its bridges and a D for the roads. Engineers say nearly 60% of Maine's bridges are more than 50 years old, and road funding in our state is the lowest per mile in all of New England. When it comes to infrastructure overall, which includes things like wastewater, airports, and transportation, the state got a C-.
We had 2 feet of snow a couple weeks ago. I'm driving up the Pike, and I'm going 45 miles an hour in a 4-wheel drive vehicle. What's funny about it is there's a guy in a 93 Corolla that passed me, and I immediately thought, where is he going? It's a 93 Corolla. I mean, he's not on call at the hospital. He had to have left something on the meth lab.
Oh, a day in the life of Maine's king of comedy, Bob Marley. You do not want to miss it. It's coming up on Now. Welcome back, everybody. Back when I was at Deering High School, one of my good friends who we could always count on to make us laugh, even when we weren't supposed to, was Bob Marley. Now, he's been telling jokes since he could talk. He's been getting paid to do so for more than 25 years, and Maine's king of comedy is still going strong. But what is a normal day like when you're Bob Marley? We wanted to find out.
Well, you're filming me and I'm filming you. I like background noise all day long, so I record a bunch of movies that I like. Can I be honest with you people? We broke this, moving this in, that's why it's duct taped. Mission Impossible, Basic Instinct 2. This has never, ever been used. And when I say never, I mean, take a look at me. Oh yeah, the Wicked Good Bob Marley Show. I don't know if you people ever saw that. That was good for about 3 episodes, I think. All right, so what's happening here is this is basically where we ship out orders and stuff. And I say we, it's me. Oh, here we go. The Dink Drinking Team koozies. Come on now. Here we go, Shark Tank. Let's do it. Let's do it. My 9-year-old named this. Because I named it, I go, what about we call it Empty Space? My wife goes, what does that mean, empty space? I go, between my ears, like empty space. It's like a joke. I have a thing in my head, and she goes, who are you, Adele? I go, no. And my 9-year-old goes, how about mouth farts? I go, what? He goes, mouth farts. That's basically what I hear when you talk, Dad. I was like, that's actually funny. I'm a little different than a regular comedian, I guess, because a regular comedian just goes out and tours. But we have merchandise, and we organize all of our own tours. We do all that stuff. So it's a huge task between scheduling and promotion and online work and all that stuff. After you've been doing this for 25 years, people go, how do you get material? You're like, oh my God, that question again.
Oh, how you guys doing?
I just go out and live life. At the end of the week, I try to do a little review.
I'm nothing to look at, okay? I'm not a showstopper. I'm not a keeper. I'm not easy on the eye.
And I would put the date on them, like this one, January 2016. That's the book I'm working in right now. But then I would end up not knowing which book was which, because I'd end up using the same colors at some point.
Do you ever look at somebody and that's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? Oh my God.
So my kids started buying me little joke ones, Hello Kitty, and you know, this one's cool, at least, AC/DC, but...
You have to go get somebody to confirm what you're looking at?
They would buy me like strawberry shortcake notebooks, and I'd have to lug it around with me. What are you gonna do, throw it away? Your kid gave it to you. It's not like you're gonna shut it off. It's the reason why you became a comedian. So it's not like when my dad died, I did his eulogy. I'm standing up in front of the church. There's like 400 people there. And I looked at the audience and I go, this is really not a great setup for this. Because I had a microphone and I was like, and they started laughing, and because I immediately thought, I have a microphone, there's an audience, let's do a show. It's fun. You know, like, it's something I really, really, really wanted to do, and then I ended up being able to do it. You know, so I feel a little bit like Tom Brady, Lee. I want to play forever.
One of the other things that Bob and I talked about was whether or not his wife gets mad at him for always trying to be a comedian and never just being Bob Marley, her husband. His answer was, all the time. So there's that. Hey, how long is it going to look like a winter wonderland, and how bad is it going to get? We'll find out next.
The next word is grr. My friend told me a secret. I looked at her and said, grr? That's G-U with an umlaut. That's 2 dots over the U. R-R-R. G-U with an umlaut. R-R-R. Your next word, number 11, is April Fools, because this is an April Fool's joke! Close enough. April Fools. Congratulations, turn in your test. This will be on your report card.
This is fantastic. A teacher in Michigan played what might be the ultimate April Fool's prank on his kids this week. Joey D posted this video on his Facebook page, said he gave his kids a fake spelling test as a joke. Mr. D had 10 words on the test. All of them were made up, and then he provided a sentence with no context for each definition. He went through the results with his kids, who grew more and more frustrated, and then they finally found out it was all just a joke. Hey, wouldn't it be nice if the snow was a joke? I think it would be. Keith Carson is hanging out at the annual New England Craft Brew Summit, which we're going to get to in a minute. It's at USM in Portland. Hundreds of brewers from across New England met to discuss the industry, and of course Maine, one of the leaders, more than 100 active brewers licenses. A beer economist, because yes, that's a real job, told the crowd that the growth rate of craft beer is actually slowing nationwide because the industry is maturing and the field is far more competitive. And who better to cover this big event for us than Keith Carson.
Thank you, Lee. Yes, it was one of the events that it was very, a lot of twisting of the arms to go to this event. I'm here with Sean Sullivan, who's the Executive Director for the Maine Brewers Guild. Talk to us quickly about what this event's about. It's not about people drinking beer, really.
No, everybody likes to drink beer, but these breweries that are growing all around the state are running businesses, and today is to talk about the business of brewing.
The actual money part of it. One of the presentations talked about the concentration, the number of brewers in New England. Weather tie in here. Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that 7 months of the year it's a good indoor activity?
Yeah, absolutely. We keep having storms here in the middle of spring, then I think, there's a reason people are staying inside drinking so much beer.
Yeah, and this, by the way, I think goes more towards my push for more stouts. What feels better in the snow than a stout?
A nice roasty stout is the answer when the snow is falling outside, definitely.
I learned a lot here, Sean. Thanks for hosting it.
Thanks
for coming by.
coming.
All right, now here's the bad part. We're going to talk about the snow. Let's show you the radar, if we could, and the snow approaching rapidly across parts of New Hampshire and moving into Maine. Interesting side note to what the radar looks like is that a lot of it was drying up on the front end. Just now, though, stepping outside, getting our first little flakes here in Portland. And so that's something that obviously will continue to spread off to the north and northeast as this storm system continues to move in. This storm is behaving as we thought it would, with the precip shield from southwest to northeast. And we're just going to be watching for that snow to continue to move in. Now, temperatures are, for the most part, just on that borderline, but they should be cold enough to accumulate the snow overnight tonight in particular. The thing about storms as you head into April is that you have a little bit of a harder time accumulating snow during the daytime hours. That being said, 32 is 32, and that's where we're going to be by later tonight, and we should be able to get that to accumulate nicely. So let's show you again some of those temperatures as we move in through New Hampshire and into Maine. The temperatures started in the upper 30s earlier today. We got, though, down and dropping down now as the precip starts, and that's a trend that we expect will continue as the night goes on. So we've got a lot of advisories in effect out there. Winter storm warning, I should say, across southern parts of Maine, and a winter weather advisory across the mid-coast and down east. The reason that there's not a larger or bigger advisory there is because we think most of the snow, the heavy snow, will be York, Cumberland County, getting into the mountains and foothills, and it's not as big an event as you head to the north. So you take it through the timing. The heaviest snow occurs late tonight, early tomorrow morning. The changeover not really going to be an issue. You think about a storm late March and early April, and you think, well, where's the rain-snow line going to be? And we think the rain-snow line is actually going to be offshore for the duration of this event. So the snow amounts have only to do with how much moisture comes on through. And the computer models, after kind of dilly-dallying, going back and forth for a while, have finally locked in. So our snowfall map, although it's gone some slight alterations, a little dragging the line south, just a tad, but 4 to 8 still looks like a good bet in Portland, 2 to 4 in the mid-coast, and then should be under 2 inches up towards Bangor and north of there. I hate to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy. There's the possibility of another storm that would likely be snow, at least for the interior, as we head into Tuesday night, Wednesday, and I would not write that storm off as snow even along the coastline. We got to watch it. It's not a lock for snow along the coast, but there's a possibility, and the pattern overall does not want to really loosen up, and you'll see it. We've got a couple of nice days, Sunday and Monday most notably, and perhaps on the other side of the storm system as we head into Thursday. But I think people have this feeling that maybe this will be the last storm of the year. But Lee, just looking at the computer models, we've got probably 2 more chances of snow in the next 7 days. And with that, I will not return to the studio. I will just go home and hide.
Well, we've actually made that easy for you, Keith. The locks have been changed, so good knowing you, and sorry you won't be able to come back. Hey, Rob Caldwell is allowed to be in the building and has a preview of News Center at 5:30 for us.
Here are some of the stories we're talking about at News Center at 5:30. We've all heard about this story about this dog that the judge in court ordered to be euthanized after it attacked other pets. Well, Governor LePage stepped in and issued the dog a pardon. Now it's going the next step in the legal process because there's a question about whether the governor has the authority to pardon a dog. We'll have the latest on where this case may be headed. And have you heard about the formations on the planet Mars that have names such as Ogunquit Beach, Mount Katahdin, Booth Bay Harbor? We'll tell you why those names are showing up on the red planet.
All right, that's at 5:30. We're back with more News Center now, right after this.
Cold rain and snow.
I know.
What? Really?
Terrible.
That is so ridiculous.
Oh my goodness, 4-year-old Arabella. Her mom, Angela, sent this into News Center Now's Facebook page and tells us Arabella's been watching Keith for years now, well, at least 4, and loves the forecast because of him. But as you can see, she's clearly not impressed with his latest forecast. Arabella, We are not either. And can you start on Monday? Because we will all trade Keith to get you. Seriously. Speaking of Keith, he's back. Keith, that was unbelievable.
That was awesome. I could only hear it, but I'm going to have to watch it later. All right, today's Brain Drops is kind of interesting. If we can roll the video on this, a German company named Festo has come up with a robotic octopus arm, which is supposed to help with manufacturing and to work alongside humans. The idea here is that normally in manufacturing you have certain tools that have to be retooled for different shapes. Well, the octopus arm can adjust to whatever object is placed in front of it. So in theory, it actually can pick up most anything. Also, its soft suction cups make it ideal for working next to humans because it doesn't hurt people if it hits them. For most people though, it looks like something that will be out of a James Bond kind of / horror movie. Maybe it has some legs to it. Maybe it has 8 legs to it. By the way, Lee, they're calling it the Octopus Gripper. Inventive name.
All right, guys, that'll do it for us for now. Have a great weekend.